think I keep the tabs. They ain't think I keep the dates. Bring your mouth, run the bill up. Now you looking at the rates. Yeah, I walk in like a price check. You ain't in my budget, why you upset? All that talk, put it on my name. Now your lies got a barcode, scan that shame. Screenshots saved, baby, archive heavy. Every layer oil, I'm just playing already. Smile in my face, through shade off scene. Now you staring at the total from a receipt queen. Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. You wrote the story, got the screenshots clean. You did the most, now you get the feedback. They didn't expect the clap back, clap back. Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. I got the timestamps, you got the back routine. You lit the fuse, now you feel the heat back. They didn't expect the clap back, clap back. You was big talk, baby, tiny in the proof. All caps online, lowercase in the truth. Heard you running little laps with my name on your phone, but your statements bounce back. Insufficient funds, I don't chase, I just started the mess. Every lie on the ledger, every fake little flex. You perform, I perform, the review on the scene. Certified, verified, petty but pristine. Say it with your chest, not a burner page. I'm the headline, you the comment rage. You press send, I press save. Guess who's looking great today? Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. You wrote the story, got the screenshots clean. You get the most, now you get the feedback. They didn't expect the clap back, clap back. Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. I got the timestamps, you got the back routine. You lit the fuse, now you feel the heat back. They didn't expect the clap back, clap back. Thought I'd stay quiet. Thought I'd stay nice. You play cheap games. Now you pay full price. Clap back. Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. You wrote the story, got the screenshots clean. You did the most, now you get the feedback. They didn't enforce. Clap back, clap back. Prima Donna, I'm the receipt queen. I got the timestamps, you got the back routine. You lit the fuse, now you feel the heat back. They didn't expect the clap back, clap back. They wrote headlines like the holy scripture, cracked up the frame till it fit the picture. Pull that curtain, told us what to see, but we were in the crowd, we remember every scene. They spin stories till the spin get busy, call it justice. When the math look it, they try to paint them as a ghost, as a sin, but the songs cut deep, they lived in our skin. Yeah, we changed faith in a courtroom file. We killed truth with a crooked smile. We were there, we were more than a view. We ain't moved when they told us to. The king of R&B, we will return. Say it loud, let the whole world learn. Honesty and all the lies they do. We remember what we know. We ain't true. They try to take us down, make us slow. But the fans stay fire in the cold. Prima Donna gonna staying tall on the throne. 'Cause we know, we on the right side of history. Yeah. They want us fractured, blind and distracted, argue in the comments, never see the tactics, edit up clips till the cut look clean, then we feel like a broken machine. But I seen her in the man's two eyes, I seen grace in the stage goodbye, saw the flaws, saw the falls, and we still saw hard. You can't fake that part, you can't fake that part, no. We manifest freedom every chant, every tweet, every late night prayer when we barely sleep. You can block one account, can't block what we feel. You can skip one name, can't ones that they label extreme. Cause we ain't trade truth for a trending meme. So write your blogs on your late night jokes. We the lifeline in the song hero. Every stream is a seed. So if you know, then you know. If you know, then you know. She's a remedy, every time. Say it loud, let the whole world learn. All the skin along the line, they grew. We remember what we know. It's true. They try to take us down, make us fall. The fans stay fire in the door. Prima, Donna, gonna stand tall on the throne. We on the right side of history. Yeah, right side.
Make sure when you come in, you hit that like button. You drop a free R. Kelly in the chat. You drop some hearts so I know that you're listening. And we're going to get this show started when a few more people roll on up in here because I don't want to repeat myself. And once I get started, I'm going to let it roll on out and people can just catch the replay.
I'm calling, yeah. They love the pen when it wrote for them. Now they act brand new, say they never sing along. Play those tracks while they play that man, turn the volume up. Now they claim they moved on. They from the pain that they watch their hands. Try to bury the name in the sacred sand. But the sun still lives in the hearts that know. You can share my love, but you can't say where it goes. Don't count the key out, you still believe. Prima, Donna, don't speak it loud. On every beat, you can point, you can blame, try to dress it down. But you can't touch the hope that we're talking about. Make it sense. When they're selling what they scream on games, you can't take my mind, can't cancel my truth. You say shut up, girl, don't say his name like they didn't build mansions on his name.
For those that don't know, it's March 10th. Bo Brentley has to March 18th to put in his paperwork. So what we're going to do from now to then is we're going to remind the people of how all this shit escalated. What's up, Miss Lady T? We're going to remind the people of how all this shit escalated and all the misconduct and corruption that was allowed to take precedence in this man's due process that has him where he's at now, relying on this goddamn attorney to do his motherfucking job.
They can't drag my choice. You can bend my face, but you can't bend my voice. If my love offends, that's just more about you. I'll keep writing down what we're living through. Count the king out. You still believe. Prima, Donna, go speaking loud. On every beat, you can point, you can blame, try to trust and doubt. But you can't touch the whole that we're talking about. Make it make sense. When they're selling what they scream against, you can't take my mind and cancel my truth. Freedom, freedom. Freedom, I'm still calling. they know me, huh? They only know the story they sold you. They tried to write my ending before I hit my prime. Took pieces of my pain, cut it, clipped it down to time. Turn my tears into headlines, my scars into shows. Told you they was saving off the secrets they exposed. You watched them twist my trauma into dollar signs and praise. They never asked what I remember, just replayed the same old frame. They branded me survivor, but that page is torn in half. Put my name up in their mouth while they edited the past. Surviving lies, you can't bury what I lived through. You televise my pain, but here's the things you did too. You pointed at a monster just to cover all your crimes. Surviving when a man was a star. Surviving lies will change the times. Surviving lies, yeah, I'm staring in your eyes. You look straight into the truth. Why you dressed it in disguise? You wanna write my story, you forgot to hold a pen. Surviving was beginning and surviving lies. Just how it is. They love a public circus if it keeps you from the proof. Throw a woman on the stand, then they edit out the truth. They frame it as a rescue, but the rescue feels like change when the people doing interviews to move the same way. They stand beside the predator, now they sit beside the prey. They smile for every camera like they never looked away. You see the way they profit off confession off my heart, but never ask who built the cage, who bought the keys first. Surviving lies, you can bury what I lived through. You televise my pain, but it's the things you did too. You pointed at a monster just to cover all your crimes. Surviving when a man was a star. Surviving lies will change the times. Surviving lies, yeah, I'm staring in your eyes. You look straight into the truth while you dressed it in disguise. You wanna write my story, you forgot I hold the pen. Surviving was just beginning. Surviving lies. The real ones see the patterns, see the copy, see the paste. How they drag one name through fire just to cleanse their own disgrace. You called it justice while you hid your own reflection. Turned a witch onto a weapon for protecting your connections. I'm not here to clear his name, I'm here to clear out all the smoke. Cause if you're standing in my corner, why you silent around your folks? Surviving lies, you can't bury what I lived through. You televise my pain, but here's the things you did too. You pointed at a monster just to cover all your crimes. Surviving one man was a star. Surviving lies will change the times. Surviving lies, yeah, I'm staring in your eyes. You look straight into the truth while you dressed it in disguise. You wanna write my story, you forgot I hold the pen. Surviving one was just beginning. Surviving lies.
So I saw my bro Dana J. He done had a couple nice lives, and I just wanted to come back and let some things marinate on the people because it's crazy that, again, I remind you why I strategically put my information out here the way I did. So we're going to first revisit this video that's playing. Before I let it play, I'm just going to point out some of the screenshots that you see so that you can picture what I'm laying out here. Now, the very first opening screenshot you saw was Joycelyn Savage's mother standing out there, police in the backdrop. And the caption was, "The Savages never play no games with @R. Kelly. Trust and believe that." And then he tagged Angelo Clary. Now, if you followed my work, you would know that when I watched all of the shenanigans go on, I was very adamant in my beliefs that when I saw the outrage, all the outcries on public display, I knew that when it came to this paperwork, they needed Azriel Clary. So if you go down my timeline, you can also find where I even did a timeline on Azriel Clary from the time all this stuff popped out until was it 2019 when I did the video. And the point in doing that is because now that some of the people are out here doing the most and they're trying to act like they have this whole new direction, they found out all this stuff during trial. I must remind the people that the purpose in putting all this on display was to show you exactly why I didn't believe all the stuff that was being put in the paperwork. Why I could look at the paperwork, look at the things that have been displayed all on social media, go back to past paperwork, settlements, as they said, lawsuits, things like that, and come to the conclusion that, like I said, if all these people didn't step in and play their position and help facilitate certain events, I don't think R. Kelly would have got convicted of the RICO. If he had the proper defense, I don't think he would have got convicted. And yet, people feel like because he did get convicted, those of us who have our firm beliefs, we're supposed to backtrack on any of the information we put out here on display. We're supposed to tiptoe around all the people that want to tell us they saw the same things that we saw as far as surviving R. Kelly. And they were just so impelled. Let me say a better word. They were just so compelled to reach out to these people to start going behind the scenes, putting this person with this person, all this extra stuff. The courts, of course, didn't get to see all this. The defense didn't do a lot of defending, but it don't change nothing that had to be strategically done to get these charges, to get the man locked up, to keep getting his bond denied, to keep scamming all these people gullible enough to believe these individuals with all their inside sources. And people wouldn't believe it if they didn't see it themselves. Anywho, back to the screenshots. At that time, like I said, Tim Savage, the Savages were the forefront of all of these allegations, right? In my opinion, because they done sat over here and met with all these people and they've come to the realization because their daughter is of legal consenting age, there's nothing they could have done. However, when these people get to strategizing, let's make this about now he's preying on underage girls. Let's keep pushing this narrative that this man is out here trafficking underage girls. They're sex slaves, is what they said, right? I'm going to just go through the screenshots first, and then I'm going to let the video play, and then I'm going to go back into Dana's live that I saw that I thought made a great point on some things. This set of screenshots. Okay, first of all, the biggest conflict with a lot of the supporters that took everybody's focus off of keeping their attention on the moving pieces, all the things going on, was that this man had a manager by the name of James Mason. Tim Savage claimed that James Mason threatened him. Then it turned into Don threatened him. Everybody knew that Don Russell was not R. Kelly's manager, yet he was being pushed in this light for specific reasons, in my opinion. Now, with that being said, you had the Savages publicly tagging and calling out to Don Russell as the manager, telling him to do something. You got him and old Cash Jones who came to the internet leaking all this audio and shit. You had all this stuff going on behind the scenes with people in these little special groups on social media. And it always seemed to revolve around money. So when I first started to point out all of the scamming and stuff going on within these groups, it's just crazy. All these other people started to pop out and started to defend certain things and then make accusations against other people. But besides that, everybody missed the common point that I just made in bringing up. Everybody had contact with the specific person named Cash Jones. She was all on these platforms. She was feeding everybody this information. Cool. You take with it what you wanted to take with it. You had her and other individuals, even Tasha K, exposing a lot of these people involved in these accusations. But as far as the mainstream media, let's put together this timeline. Starting July 2017, in which the first thing they wanted to publicize, 3 sets of parents claim Kelly is holding their daughters in an abusive cult, according to BuzzFeed News. Parents claim that Kelly has brainwashed them. Who are the 3 sets of parents? You got the Clarys, you got the Savages, and you got Dominique's mom, Michelle Kramer. Everybody skipped around all of the stuff that went on before that, like Tim Savage all on social media. 1 minute he a gangster, the next minute he over here talking about let's meet at a radio station, to being put in front of these cameras. And it's just mighty coincidental. Everybody skip around him contacting Jim Derogatis. Now, the biggest takeaway in that is when you got BuzzFeed, you got Jim Derogatis, you got these common names that have supplied a lot of these salacious stories about R. Kelly. So when you hear these allegations waged by the parents, that should automatic make you want to go back and look at previous things that have been published. So even when R. Kelly pointed out Jim Derogatis writing all these same repetitive stories, you got him coming out here with his book talking about all of these victims that he knows he's in contact with, etc., etc. Then when you put 2 and 2 together, you realize you got Tim Savage out here. He's trying to form together this coalition to, as he said, get his daughter. Whether he full-hearted believed that, that's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is, there were people out here on these platforms that were challenging the things that were being said. And looking back, one would have to recognize that it doesn't take a genius to recognize why people needed to come in and divert people's attention away from challenging the things. So the irony in watching everything to this day playing out, and these same individuals that were so adamant these people were telling the truth come back now and want to say this was a lie, the Clarys lied about this, put everything on the Clarys, and miss, in my opinion, looking at how the Savages were moving, they were continuously tagging Angelo Clary, continuously using Azriel as the forefront of everything going on. Because like I said, they had no case with Joycelyn. What's up, Gemini? We just catching up because, the shenanigans going on now. It just seems like just me looking at it. A lot of people want to put all the blame on the Clarys. So when I seen Angelo on Dana Live a couple nights ago, and then I just continued to see all the bouffale, as they say. You gotta excuse me, I'm still a little sick. But we gotta go back and review some of the screenshots, because contrary to popular belief, I don't just go around screenshotting irrelevant ass people. I screenshotted the things that people want to come back now and try to act like didn't happen. And while this man sitting here fighting for his freedom, he depending on Bo Brentley, and is looking very shady to me. But he got 8 days to put in his motion. So in the meantime, we just gonna remind the people why all this shit was some bullshit from the beginning. So yeah, back to the receipts. If you recall, everybody was getting exposed on social media. You had people on the Savages, you had people going at the Clarys, you had people going at Miss Kramer, talking about she was dating this person, she let her daughter go over her, all this and that. Then every time the media and other people were running with these stories, these parents sold their daughters. What happened? They kept coming out here doing all the extra talking, and exposing. The more they talk, the more we sit here and started to screenshot and record. So now we got to make the receipts make sense. So, like I was saying, everybody knew R. Kelly's attorney at that time, James Mason. But you had people who wanted to come out here and force the narrative that Don was the muscle. He was acting as the manager. He was doing all this on behalf of R. Kelly, including facilitating some extra charges. We'll get to that though. Moving along. At this point, people just was throwing out so many damn stories talking about R. Kelly and Joycelyn had a baby. So we just gonna skip past that part because per usual, the Savages, anytime there's a trending topic around that time, they had to come out here and voice something. So anywho. So this screenshot, obviously, people skip around. Who in the hell brought in this janky ass so-called crisis manager that didn't help no damn crisis and tried to get the man another charge, which they put in the uncharged act of bribery, trying to bribe some damn clerk, which made no fucking sense. But then he was adamant that he didn't work for R. Kelly, so it's just more fuel to why people should just be looking at this shit again, looking back at all the stuff that played out with these people. Clearly, you had Tim Savage actively out here engaging with these platforms, including Dana's. You recall on Surviving R. Kelly, they specifically and strategically put this scene in there in which one of these people on YouTube was put in there talking about you ain't gonna never see your daughter, and this is to fuel their whole little storyline. Oh, they're holding my daughter hostage, even though this man been in jail all these years. To this day, Joycelyn still ain't went home, but people want to keep tiptoeing around why all this shit was janky as hell from the beginning. So anywho, you had this lady who was on the screen who was all, in my opinion, doing the most on these platforms. But we're going to skip on by there because they all get offended when they see they screenshots of shit they was participating in that I just found very peculiar. The fuck? Anywho, so you had the Savages out here. They do their little press conference. And this is something that I specifically was in Dana chat and asked Angelo about it because, from my opinion, they wanted Angelo at this press conference because, like I said, Tim didn't have no case. They trying to build this whole narrative. This man out here preying on minors and young girls and shit. But his daughter grown. So anytime he talking about it, he get resistance. So it kind of hurt his little plan when he ain't got Angelo to fuel, oh, well, my daughter was 17 type shit, So when people start calling out even Tim feeding Asante her lines when they was asking her questions, people skipped on by that. All these people were engaging with these platforms, feeding them their exclusives, cool. But then what got me was this baby girl 97 baby girl page that was putting out all of this information, including this list. And just follow along. Put out this little list of all these so-called enablers that work with R. Kelly or work for R. Kelly. So when I start putting this shit on display, I noticed the same individual that slid next to Angelo, he come on YouTube talking about that I shared his list. How the hell would I share his list? I shared the list off of this 97 Baby Girl page, in which Tim and Angelo came to YouTube acting like they confused about who ran that page, and that page was specifically putting out information to focus on Azriel. But guess what? They was on this internet talking about Azriel ain't in the paperwork, even though anybody that read it would know that she was always in the New York paperwork. So when I started seeing all this extra engagement with these specific individuals coming to these platforms, of course I would screenshot them. Of course I would document all the stuff that they put on display, including how it goes from R. Kelly's original manager, James Mason, threatening Tim, to all of a sudden Don threatening Tim. All the stuff they had going on behind the scenes being brought to YouTube. Even the fact that it was being said that Don had took these specific images out of R. Kelly's phone and publicized them, even to what they said was interpreted as a threat towards Faith Evans, which was also put in a lawsuit. When people ignore the fact that, as I mentioned with Cash Jones, she is the one who brought this information to me. Was I the person to sit up here and try to determine whether she was lying or not? Nope. But I put it on public display for a reason. Because at the end of the day, these people get amnesia. They forget all the stuff that they partook in. And then come out here with new and improved stories that still don't make no motherfucking sense. So again, when you got all these people who colluded, who started getting people from, in my opinion, Jim Derogatis, who then start meeting other people who want to come with their R. Kelly stories. Now they putting all these people on YouTube. Funny how they wanted to discredit certain accusers and then not look at how that made all the accusers look janky as hell. Funny how during all this process, people took their focus off of what they were doing, which was showing the world why we don't believe these stories. And when you had the people emerge like they were so invested in the paperwork, even so much to taking contributions to get the paperwork, you would think they would have been able to break down the paperwork more fluently than worry about why I'm documenting the things that I'm seeing, because nobody would believe it. Ain't no way. Ain't no way you will believe you sitting over here watching this show, then all of a sudden you see all these charges hit that man, then you wondering why this ain't going on, wondering why this ain't going on. Then you see that these people go into court talking about some Jane Doe, Jane Doe. They don't want to be identified, but they all on these goddamn platforms. How the fuck does that make sense? You got this man over here trying to start a nonprofit of helping victims. Meanwhile, you got the person that so-called help is supposed to be helping him exploiting these stories by trying to come out here and one up the fans like he just got all the information when all the information he was getting was third party. Now we'll get to my observations as to how I feel like he involved himself to the point that he could secure something beneficial out of his involvement, which is documented. So pretty much the summary, like I said, you got up here at the top it goes from James Mason threatened Tim Savage to Don threatened Tim Savage. Meanwhile, they was all on fucking social media telling Don to do something. The fuck? Then you got Snitch 9 McGee over here fueling all of the stuff on social media, in my opinion, to see how it worked to his advantage. Down at the bottom, like I said, you had Cash Jones. She right there in the middle. Who is that beside her? Geronda Pace. Who is this? Angelo Clary, his wife. You had them on their way to wherever they was going, and her, as I said, going to all these platforms, giving bits and pieces of information. Let's see. Now, when I speak on witness tampering, for some strange reason, people only want to focus on specific ones. But in my opinion, I believe a lot of people were being intimidated, coerced to the point that they ended up cooperating with law enforcement. And just my opinion in the way the wording of the prosecutors, they can know specific things that happened, but they could cherry pick the points that they want to make and present to the jury, right? And it would be up to the defense to rebuttal this, to defend that. Now, when you don't have that going on, and you got all of these people, such as his ex-girlfriend, Haley Calhoun, who also was put on the witness stand, despite in previous times she was fully supporting R. Kelly. She was excuse me. She was even calling out certain individuals. Even when Azriel and Joycelyn had their little altercation, she commented on that. But somehow people skip around how Joycelyn Savage's father, Tim Savage, was all on the internet harassing them to the point that Haley Calhoun had to speak on him. But magically, she was used as another bad act witness in the RICO trial. Of course, I reached out to the mother. She said exactly what I've been saying for the longest. Nobody wants the truth. The truth isn't messy enough. She said, we've cooperated with authorities and they are the only ones who need to know Hallie's business, right? That's what she said. But what happens when you got people all on the internet hell bent on keep mentioning Haley, her mom, all this stuff that was going on and making it their business? So from there, let's just keep up with the facts that you had all these audios leaking. That's what's going on in the middle right here. You already had the Savages calling out to Don. You had the 97 baby girl page that was putting all this information out here. And you could clearly see that Azriel was the forefront of all the posts. You got Tim out here acting brand new, even though looking on his page in 2014, he was even sharing the little interview with R. Kelly and Tori. But yet, it seemed to me that they were willing to bypass all the things that they've heard because they can, just like we, can feel like it can't be true. It must not be too accurate if nothing has happened to this man in all these years. So if you put yourself in their position, of course they would want their daughter to get next to R. Kelly and get them some music, of course. But what happens when you got people on the outside trying to put extra salt on what's going on, that have amplified what's going on, that have now reached out to these people talking about your daughter's in danger, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. And who am I to say that they couldn't have, or they're wrong for believing what was told to them? My position has always been, at some point, just like I did my due diligence, at some point you would have to realize it's some bullshit going on. So with that being said, to keep getting online and keep fueling these lies, I can't take no sympathy on no people like that. I can't sit up and listen to no people that want to now come back and backtrack and put all the blame on Angelo, because it's a whole lot of people at fault for the way all these dominoes fell. And to this day, you're not going to tell me that you feel like this is justice. You got people that feel, even the people that feel like he did this and did that, they want to join the conversation and say, no, that's too much time. But hold on, make it make sense. If you think he did this and did that, what you mean it's not too much time? Like, I'm trying to wrap my mind around how you could feel like he's guilty of this, but then not realize there's penalties to those actions. So I'm confused. And they're confused by the people who don't believe he's guilty of what he was charged with. But then we not finna go back and start saying he's perfect and all this other goofy ass shit, because ain't nobody ever said that. We talking about the charges. We talking about these stories that made headlines, that have changed public's perception to the point that they turned a blind eye to all of the shit that was going on these very platforms. So at this point, you had all this going on, right? Now you got the fans entering the picture, because you got individuals now coming over here. One minute they going to the people who want to keep R. Kelly in jail platform, then they coming over to the supporters, and that's their prerogative. But at the end of the day, my opinion has always stand firm. Then if you read the paperwork, if you looked at all the previous reports, news reportings, all that stuff from the past, and you observed what's going on, ain't no way you could believe all the antics these people had to participate in order to help these people facilitate a RICO and not even charge the so-called enterprise. So at this point, obviously, in challenging all the stories that were put out here by these individuals, you would then look at the motive. You would look at the people that weren't included in these stories, that weren't put on the witness stand, that were there during this 30-year history, that could really testify to the truth, instead of cherry picking the people that have motives or have been incentivized to testify on behalf of the prosecutors. They knew it wasn't going to be no defense to shut the shit down, right? So then you got what's going on in the middle. People coming out here talking about music being stolen. People might have forgot that was some of the initial claims that Cass Jones brought to me. So you had her talking about music being stolen. Then you got years down the line, people talking about music being stolen out this storage. And nobody would look at all these red flags that's going on within this man's case. Even to the point that these people used his own brother to come out here and scam people. When I talk about all the fraud shit, that's what's going on in the middle here. You had people all in these little groups. You had debit cards being sent. You had people over here plotting for power of attorney. You had people over here plotting, trying to set up different bank accounts and other funds and shit. You had these fake sisters being put out here. You had people putting all this attention on the defense fund while they raising all this other money over here. You had Nicole over here all on the internet doing janky ass shit challenges. Then when there's when there's a hearing, basically when it should have been brought how ineffective they were, that should have been highlighted. It just seemed like to me, looking at it, that the judge was essentially telling R. Kelly that they believed that there was a conflict, but it just seemed like they were going to keep moving forward with the trial regardless. So, from the outside looking in, who am I to say what options R. Kelly could have had at that moment? But it don't take a genius to recognize when the money man go over here and get the damn janky ass canic, the sinking Titanic. I don't know what people expected. But then they come out here, oh, we're setting up for the appeal. The appeal come and go. What they saying now? More bullshit. More bullshit to avoid that all this stuff going on during this man's trials, during his investigations, need to be reinvestigated. So I don't even give a shit who you want to put the blame on. I don't give a shit if people want to feed into, oh, the Clarys did this, and that. Well, guess what? I personally didn't believe half the shit that was being said about R. Kelly holding this girl hostage and none of this other shit. I think, like I said, it was just a loophole to throw in there, oh, she was 17, and throw in that little extra shit. Didn't believe it. Didn't believe it. So when people bypass, even when Kim Fox, she was put in the hot seat for alleged misconduct with a whole lot of other cases. Did anybody think to say, hey, she need to be put under the same spotlight for the misconduct in R. Kelly's case? To this day, nobody has came back around and said nothing about the communications between her and Michael Avenatti. Where is he at now? In jail. It's just so much to unpack that people never looked into as they got distracted from all the pieces that were being laid out, including this so-called flight that was taken that they put in there as part of their man act for Angelo Clary. You had Cash Howard being questioned. Nothing happens of that, but yet they claim she was supposed to be the madam. She was supposed to be doing this. So many names that were on this list that I previously mentioned, they got left out of the trial. Make it make sense. One person, Rico Enterprise. We don't have to charge the enterprise. We're just going to charge R. Kelly. We're going to tell the public that his whole career was to traffic minors, because now we got the savages who have brought out the Clarys, tagging the FBI, all this extra shit, because they say they want their daughter back, and to this day, their motherfucking daughter still ain't with them. I can't make this shit up. So who holding the hostage now? Who? Again, At this specific time, Angelo was starting his little nonprofit. He wanted to help victims. And I'm still trying to figure out who did these people help? Because all they're fascinated with is this R. Kelly shit. Even now, this man in jail, they still can't move the fuck on. They still can't get the fuck out of here. They can't. This was just a few of the screenshots. Number one, you had the Savages posting this screenshot in which they talking about Azriel is supposed to be just like this other girl who they claim was another trainer for R. Kelly. Somebody else that's missing in action in all these accusations. You had the Savages going back and forth with Haley Calhoun. And magically, a new album drops. I admit it, to the point that R. Kelly got the call from jail and say he had nothing to do with it. And then people sitting out here looking crazy. All you had to do was go back to the beginning of these people, starting with the Savages. The Clarys weren't the one coming out here talking about my daughter being held hostage, none of this shit. They came out here, in my opinion, in response to their name and their daughter being brought into this. Because regardless of whether he was trying to reclaim his daughter because shit wasn't working out, that shouldn't have been dramatized to the effect that it was, because she didn't want to come home. And now we gotta go on and turn a blind eye to this man getting locked up on some bullshit. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of those receipts. So now that I went over those receipts, I ain't even gonna play the video. We're gonna get straight into Angelo's video on Dana's platform. Because what I just said covered a lot of points that I was curious about and asked in the chat.
I'm not on the internet. I was on the internet for a time in my life to get my daughter. I hear niggas say whatever they want to do. But the thing what I'm tripping on, my daughter been home. Everything that any nigga could say about what my relationship was, what was this. Dana, you know. You know where my children at. You know where my any where I'm at, this and that. This, for somebody to sit there and try to make up things to get people attention and tell the same lies over and over and over, and think because a person off the internet or they went on about their business or moved on their life, that these dummies, that's why I call these dummies listen to it. Because see, ain't nothing smart about a person that listen to a dumb conversation. See, you ain't gonna tell me the same thing that was already proven, whatever it is. And now you trying to convince it because now you get no rebuttal. This dude went to jail, did whatever he did. That was a phase. It was over with. I don't say nothing about that man. I don't say nothing about his family. I don't care about him. That phase of my life did nothing but bring me darkness, heartache, and pain. Now, this is some of the things I hear.
Now, for those of you who don't know, this is the key witness, Angelo Clary's father. And he was on Dana J's live a couple nights ago. And the reason being is because, as I just mentioned, all this shit that was going on, these people, in my opinion, attaching themselves to him because they needed his daughter. Now they want to be out here detaching themselves to the point that now they want to put all the blame. Oh, it's all the Clary's fault. When no. It's a whole lot of players that's fault. You just gonna put that on the Clarys. The fuck? You crazy as hell. So this is Azriel Clary's father addressing the fact that to this day, now these people trying to flip the script and keep mentioning him and now want to keep fueling bullshit when reality is everybody's focus should still be on the fact is this man gonna put this motion in on behalf of R. Kelly? Is people gonna start to look back at all the stuff that was being put on these platforms and take a second look at these people out here still lying? They wanted to make specific people the liars and confuse my position of it all. You ain't gonna put all the blame on one motherfucking person, whether it's Dana J or Angelo. The fuck? That's stupid.
Yeah. Do you say, somebody said I don't have a trucking company? Anybody tell you that said they need information or, yo, they gonna call me and let a dumb nigga, a smart dummy, sit there and tell you, don't call this nigga, he ain't got nothing. That's because a nigga don't want to be embarrassed about the lies that they put out because he don't got nothing. See, I don't have to lie. And believe me, I wish I could share some of my life with y'all and some of the amazing things that I try to do in my community in Baltimore. Because I keep hearing this, Baltimore. I'm always in Baltimore. 2 businesses still in Baltimore. And anybody that come to Baltimore need to confess that they can come to my office. Just hit me up. My number never changed. So I don't understand why people sit on this internet and tell these fabricated lies over and over, redundant lies, and everybody that's listening to them because somebody got something to say. Is this where grown folks at? Because I'm past that part in my life. I got 9 grandchildren that I play with all the time. I had to get off the phone or interrupted by phone call because that's what I'm dealing with. One of them golden child. I don't got time to sit on here and talk about no other grown man that tell lie after lie after lie about somebody's life. And I know my life is shambles. How about you focus on your life? Stop telling all the lies and tell the truth about your life. Then maybe you'll get off the internet and figure out how your life can go forward. Because you're right, you ain't me. You can never be me because, nigga, I don't come from where you come from. My blood ain't the same as your blood. And let's talk about a case, the 21 count indictment. Dane, I think your cousin and all of them can vouch for my case. Nigga, I ain't never been a fuckboy a day in my life. Never in my day in my life. I bought my first property, nigga, I was 15 years old. That's known fact in my city. Anything that I tell you is standard. I don't have to lie. I don't have to put on no show. That was a life that I'm not proud of because that wasn't a good life. That was something that I got into in a world that I thought that there was.
You right. D-Map, Zoom, Bonjean was on their motherfucking neck. So that's why motherfuckers got in their feelings because she clocked Snitch 9 McGee, a.k.a. Larry McGee, right? She put him in the paperwork along with Tasha K. And what happens is they brought in this goofy-ass motherfucker who since has dropped the ball time and time again, who on March 18th need to put in this damn motion on why R. Kelly needs a new trial. They can sit out here and beef back and forth on who to blame. I don't give no fuck about that shit. I ain't taking no sides because I don't give no fuck. I showed you all these years why I don't believe none of this goofy ass shit. Why I side-eye a lot of these people. Why when individuals gang up to put the focus on certain people, they look just as goofy. To me, my opinion. But guess what? They had to get Bonjean out the way. They had to get all the people who really support R. Kelly vocally on these platforms out the way. They wanted to come out here and keep entertaining people while they feed this man to the wolves.
Okay. And it wasn't okay because I hurt more of my community than I ever did good. But nigga, don't you ever put me on no fuck boy status, because nigga, I ain't never in my life, long as I've been living, been a fuck boy. I've been a leader from the day I come out my mother's womb. And anybody that know me from Baltimore gonna vouch for that. You got me fucked up, bro.
Well,
and nigga, I was a 501k. No, nigga, I was the one and fucking from Lewisburg to Petersburg medium to Petersburg low to Petersburg camp. Nigga, checking any nigga that came from Baltimore. They sent them to me with their PSI. Maybe you don't know what a PSI is because you're a new nigga that went in the Fed. But ask the old nigga that did some time, what's PSI? Because anybody came from Baltimore, nigga, they came straight over there to me. So that shit you talking, bro, you don't know nothing about me. You know why you don't know nothing? You know what you hurting so bad about? Because I don't post shit and I can't.
Damn, I ain't know my mic was muted. Let me try this again. So let's pause right there, because for those of you who don't know, it's being thrown around here now that Angelo is supposed to be a snitch. And I'm trying to make this shit make sense. How the hell a snitch gonna call another motherfucker a snitch? But that's neither here nor there, because for those of you who were around day one, y'all recall that these allegations have been thrown out there before. And guess what? He was all buddy. He was cool with him then. So motherfuck that shit now. That's why these people goofy as hell. They get mad and they start to repeat the same shit that was already put out here that somebody else said that was questionable then, and is even more questionable now that a motherfucker that was teamed up with these people want to come out here and say the same shit. And made it their business to come out here and wage war with all the people supporting R. Kelly in some way, form, or fashion. Because you ain't going to convince me that you just spotted me out of thin air and decided to start fucking with me. Start tagging me, P-Hive, all that shit in the beginning. But as you say, you didn't know people on social media. But somehow you found us in this little sector, minding our motherfucking business, saying why we don't believe this shit. Now you want to come back around with your people, pointing out why you say now Angelo's a liar, which again, it don't change how we feel about all of this as a whole. The fuck? I'm a snitch. How a snitch gonna call another man a snitch? You snitched.
Can't post shit because I know you motherfuckers are so busy still on my pages trying to figure out what this nigga doing. It's a shame that I can't try to share some of the struggles that I'm doing with some of the people with drug addiction and some of the kids that's out of control. Probably some of them kids that would love to run for your lying ass mouth and tongue that you whip every night out there. Nigga, you say, and then you say I was a lumper at a job. No, nigga, that's your job. See, I got status on anything I do. So when I went there, if you tell me what I did, say, nigga, I was a operation manager. Tell the truth. I'm the nigga that hired niggas like you and fire you too. Because I realize you ain't nothing but a shamble, a lying motherfucker that don't do nothing but backstab anybody that you fucking know. Well, that's why you can't get away from the internet, because this was your home. This is where you met the most people in your life. Nigga, I'm home. I'm still dealing with the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that I know in my city. In my city. Well, you got it twisted, man.
Well, since I got you here for part 2, you know what I mean? Shit, you got me up.
Bro, this got me heated, bro, because I'm in Ramadan, and it seemed like no matter what I try to do, I've never been on. I don't go to nobody pay. You know that, Dana. You ask us.
Oh, man.
We want to have a conversation. We have a conversation.
Right.
I don't get on none of that because I'm past that part of my life.
All right, well, so let's get
you
this.
Saying that you see video with my grandson driving a truck. I don't think their truck I ever bought in my life was old. I didn't even buy old cars, nigga. My hoopies that I drove, nigga, was something that niggas wanted to get their kids or some shit like that. See, I don't have to fabricate my life for the internet to be big. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I drive this, I drive that. That's your nigga. When my house hit the internet, you nigga, my house, nigga, you was a renter. You ain't never owned nothing.
You right, Gemini. I don't think Greenberg missed deadlines. He wasn't worth a damn either. Again, when they see, this is what pissed me off, even about Don. When he came out here talking about Don knew, he said Greenberg was in over his head. He couldn't handle that. So again, if these people around R. Kelly knew that these people around him couldn't handle this fucking case, who fucking fault is that? And what is us sitting out here flooding people comments, putting on our combat boots, doing all this shit that they say we should do? What is that gonna do if the people who are hired to defend him don't do so in court? Make it make sense. What's up, Miss Charlotte? There's a good chance the feds are in his ear trying to buy time or to sabotage Kelly. It's a whole lot of janky shit going on. That's why I'm telling you, everybody gonna be saying this shit. It's a whole lot of janky shit going on. That's all I know.
You didn't put out everything you ever had. You didn't. I don't give a fuck about your life. Your life is not my life. I don't care.
Repossessed?
How you, your wife, your kids, and all that gotta live y'all life. Y'all gotta live y'all life. You think I wake up and worry about this dude that once was a part of my life or in my life? I ain't gonna say a part of my life, was in my life. You was a virtuous fucking liar. You need the internet. You need all these women. You need all these guys to feel like you glorified. You're shit, bruh.
What up,
Cargo? I'm not your enemy, bruh. Stop telling people I'm your enemy. I don't even see you, bruh. And I'm in your crazy, but I'm in.
And speaking of, if somebody got that original clip of when Tim Savage and his family and Asante McGee was on that podium doing that press conference, send me that, because I've been looking for it, and it's just mighty strange how shit just be disappearing off this internet, and people didn't understand why I said, instead of watching people you don't like, maybe you should be recording and doing commentary on this shit so that people can review that instead of all this goofy shit people putting on display. The fuck? Yeah, I need that clip though, because in this live, I asked Angelo a specific question, and that is, why wasn't he at the press conference? I know Tim Savage wanted him at the press conference. Why didn't he go? Is what I wanted to know.
California right now.
Uh-oh.
California right now. And to go to, I'm gonna probably pick up a load now just to go to Vegas and go holler at my people. So if you really want to see me and you can go live tomorrow evening, I will be in Vegas and I'm gonna stay over there at my people house. You can come to the gym, wherever you need to come, ask me, drop my location, do it live so your people can see that I really pull up. And then I'm gonna take you where I'm gonna bring you wherever I park my truck so you can see what type of truck.
All right, let me know, Miss Charlotte, because I show need to put that in rotation as well, to put with him responding when I asked him why didn't he go. I need to put that with this.
See, I don't have to lie, nigga. You was a liar, a virtuous liar. But you know what I am? I'm a family man. I'm a hard-working family man. That's why I went through the storm with all this bullshit. This storm.
Let me see.
People hurt me. I told you, Tim hurt me. and get the fucking truth. Everybody, them landlords, everything, from the house with the pool or whatever the fuck it was, when everybody was him and Boski was going back and forth, and all them people. The landlords.
Well, my thing to get in when they was bringing me Larry paperwork, when they was beefing with Larry, even when they identified, because like I said, I didn't know a Larry McGee. I'm just wondering who the fuck was doing all this extra shit on social media. And voila, people brought the information out here. He going back and forth with them and conveniently sending shit to the prosecutors. Like R. Kelly can control these motherfuckers. But they don't talk about that shit. Why they want to put all the blame on Angelo.
Understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you got your own truth out there, but people act like they forget that. Because he pumped so much Angelo, the Boski, or whoever the fuck else he said out his name, he at war with. Nigga, I'm not your enemy. Well, I'm not on no internet, and I'm not on no channel for nothing with you. Well, my channel going to be for youth, for motherfuckers to change and some of the shit that
so you hear that? He was at war with Domboski. And like I said, when people get to mentioning me in the midst of their battles with these people, that's what irritates my soul. Because, motherfucker, I don't give a fuck about y'all beefs on this internet. Why y'all beefing? How long y'all gonna be beefing? If I think it's funny, I'ma laugh. It is what the fuck it is. But like I said, when it started to bleed into this case, there lies the problem I have.
Fucked up in my city to help try to fix it.
Well, I don't know about these niggas saying they about war, cause I give everybody an opportunity, and again, I don't gloat about it. I don't talk about it. I ain't trying to punk nobody, but I'm just saying, when a nigga say if he see me here do this and do that, and you come through the city and I tell you drop your location and you cut everything off, I'm not gonna keep entertaining that shit.
I don't get to that thing. Listen to me what I tell you, and I tell you this over and over, bro. I've got too much shit going on, too much shit I'm trying to figure out.
What up, Aaron?
And too many things that I'm trying to put back together in my life to even entertain a dude that's still trying to make himself big on the internet. You understand? That's everybody in the world is somebody on the internet.
I just
go there in their real life. I
just want people to find who they really are and just do what's best for them. That's all I say.
Nigga said, I'm Angelo is broke. Nigga, I ain't been broke since I was 13. Ask my family in my broke. Ask the people that I pulled for in my broke.
But I mean, but even if you was broke,
pay more taxes than the fuck you make, nigga.
But I mean, but even if you was broke, bro, is he gonna break bread with you?
Bro, I wouldn't listen. See what I'm saying? Right. I wasn't even dealing with him. And then when whoever dug up his wife, she reached out to me, and once I talked to her, like, it's okay to talk about anybody, say they paint their own narrative. Nigga, I wouldn't give a fuck when my wife was at her highest. Nigga, your wife couldn't fucking touch her. Nigga, if we are in two different classes. So I don't give a fuck in your mind how much you want to act like you in my league. You never been in my league. So that goofy shit he say, y'all heard it from his fucking wife tell you about the money her husband was giving him. Nigga, you wasn't a man. You never was the man. You stole everybody else's imagery and you made it yours. That's what you did. So you faked the world out. Is what you really did. You ain't do shit that made sense, nigga. You just faked a whole bunch of people out.
So pretty much he gave us a Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, listen, I never said the man tried to steal my life. Y'all told me. The internet told me. Like, damn, Larry want to be you. everything you say you doing, or if we see you doing, he doing. Or he say he doing. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to lie, Dana. That's one thing I ain't never understand about dude. It is what it is. Because I know how to grind and get it. This nigga say, I don't know how to do nothing. I can't do nothing. I'm a nigga that can't do nothing. I don't know how to get no money. This man a joke, man. That's a joke to me, Dana. All that's a joke to me, bro.
But like you said,
that's for real.
But like you said, he been a baller all his life. So I don't know.
And guess what? Listen, if he a baller, listen, I'm happy with that, Dana. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm happy with it. If you're a baller, be a baller. I ain't gonna contest it, nothing, because guess what? The internet know the truth. And if they okay with allowing you to lie to them, then so be it. So be it. Nigga, a goofball, man. I'm gonna ready to end this, John, but I just you know, any of your peoples on there, because they came out at whatever time it is and got with me. I mean, you know, any got any questions in there, Dana, they want to ask me, whatever, because this probably the last time they gonna ever hear me on the internet with this goofy ass shit ever.
Hold on, do anybody got any questions?
When a nigga say something about me, y'all got my number the same. It's easy to call Angelo. It's real easy to call Angelo and get the fucking truth.
And do anybody got any questions for Angelo?
They gotta be and dealing with shit like from a grown ass man. That's crazy.
All right, good night, Gemini.
Wait a minute, your own lot rat told about y'all affair.
A lot rat. Who the fuck is a lot rat?
But they calling Tears a lot rat.
What that got to do with me? They saying I was messing with him?
Nah.
Oh, they talking about Larry.
Now you know Skylife going off on Larry because Larry called a bunch of bitches.
Bro, like her kids, you know, the shit that they put up, like that shit don't supposed to hit the internet, man. That shit was what it was, and that's where it's supposed to stay. Motherfuckers think going around getting people personal shit and all that shit goofy. If it ain't a person that you chasing or trying to get you, that shit shouldn't have never got to that.
So let me ask you
this. Shit was a good cause, a real good cause for everybody, and that shit turned to shit.
So
now we got a whole bunch of people ready to kill herself. Because if Sky nigga ever run across Larry and Sky in Vegas, and they all run across him at the casino, what she think that nigga gonna do to him?
Oh no, that's
gonna Sky gonna react, and now he got to stand on it.
Snitch 9 inserted himself trying to use Angelo to get himself out of his indictment.
That's the thing. And I never knew Larry had no case. I never knew that. So whatever he did, he did.
I said yes or no. I said yes or no at the beginning of my question. Yes or no? Yes, that's what he did. Yes, I'm going to tell y'all. Yes, he did. Answer my own question.
I didn't know he had a case till he told me.
What?
And then I met the white boy. See, that's when I found out who Larry really was, but I wasn't even dealing with Larry then. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I wasn't even dealing with him. And then when whoever dug up his wife, she reached out to me. And once I talked to her, she told me everything. Like everything he said, what he had, how he got this, all that. She told Dabowski first. I think Dabowski knew all that first.
Yeah, Dabowski
told Dabowski everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. And she told him everything. You know, he's making my husband out to be this, and that. And that's what she did. So I don't have nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that.
So Prima,
this is his truth. This was his truth. Not my truth. This was his truth. The landlord, I never met that woman. He tried to make the woman out racist and some shit. I don't know that woman. I ain't know his landlords.
So, also Prima said yes or no. Snitch 9, which is Larry, fueled a lot of that Michael Williams ish. Yeah, I can say yeah for that.
Yeah, I don't listen. What I'm telling you.
I could say yeah too, because as you just heard him saying, talking about some he was at war and he's sitting here doing all this extra shit to try to get his little deal. He was over here sending shit to the prosecutors and shit. So yes, I answered my own question again.
And anything that come to me, anybody can ask me. My story will never fucking change. Dana have called me a gazillion times, and we talked about same shit. I say, nigga, we just talked about that. And I know him just to see if things change. I'm going to tell you how my beginning was and how my end. Just like I explained to you when he was running around talking about the hotel shit and it wasn't no police. And I told you all the truth in the world. Where you can go look at it, ain't no lie to me. See, I don't have to lie about nothing I said. They say my daughter ID, ain't no 5-star hotel gonna ever interrupt nobody motherfucking room if somebody was of age. That's a lawsuit. And they sure ain't gonna bring them downtown to they fucking parents if they old enough. So all that goofy shit, and I'm not going back into that shit because the justice for my daughter and for whoever these kids that needed it, they got it.
What kid?
How they feel with it and deal with it, that's on them. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Well,
I know my heartache and my pain was over after I got my daughter home. Well, and that was enough for me. I ain't need nothing else.
Well, you know my stance on that. You already know.
Absolutely.
You know my stance on that.
We argue all the time with it, and I don't know why your stance on it. Because I keep telling you they stabbed you in the back. Yeah, him himself stabbed you in the back. So I don't know why you stand so, but it is we loyal individuals. Right. So was I hurt? Now, was I hurt? I was hurt. The only thing hurt me on there, and I told you this. A couple people hurt me. I told you Tim hurt me, and I told you Larry hurt me. Hurt me because, and then even Toss K, because I had to understand that Toss K was a business. So I didn't know that. You understand what I'm saying? Because I wasn't into the internet. That was Tim Peoples. So when I got introduced to her, I'm thinking this a person that was sincere to help. I didn't ever watch that.
And so what now? Them was 10 people, huh? So it was 10 people. She turned around and exposed Tim, exposed Angelo, but continued to help the government out. It's some shit.
Channel, I don't know nothing about. Oh, that's how she do her thing. None of that. So even though people's like, oh, yo, she gonna cross you, I'm like, hell no, that's my girl, boo, boo, boo. But when they did it, I had to understand that was her business. So she don't attach to nothing. That's her business. Boom, okay. But motherfuckers, I've been to your house. We've been around each other. I done ate. I done took your family out. We done ate. We done sat down and broke bread. Your kids calling me on and this and that. And then you bring up all this phony shit, bro.
Yeah, he said that you and your wife was dirty coming to his house. I was like, huh?
Bro, you seen my house. One thing I've been live, my mother house, my house, all my guy had marble all through my floor. My marble bill, you understand? So I don't have to lie to these niggas. So that's what made me laugh. I'm laughing at this dude. Like, nigga, where do you get it from, nigga? When you renting house to house, anything that can, whatever name you could possibly get passed through to get a house. Nigga, I own my house. I don't understand what niggas don't understand about that. Like, that shit crazy to me.
Yeah, but that CPN action is crazy. Right.
But I paid for the things, and I gave it to my daughter to give her. They was like Gucci slippers or whatever. We went to the Gucci outlet. Because I would feel out of place for me to be handing off some $250 slippers or whatever they was giving. That's what it's supposed to come to.
Right.
So why in the fuck would a grown man who only met my daughter for a weekend feel obligated to buy my daughter a fucking couch when her father's sitting there getting by what the fuck he want?
So now he's referring to the fact that they saying that Larry Snitch 9 McGee bought the star witness a couch and was doing all this extra stuff to help her, was doing all this, showing her that, tampering with her. And her father is saying he felt like his actions were inappropriate while he all on the internet with this hoopla about R. Kelly. Interesting.
So see, sometimes your kid will go outside because she knew she had a thirsty ass dummy that wanted to feel like he got so much going on. But what he needs to tell y'all is how Janine was fucking pissed when she found out because he needed to use 2-3 credit cards to pay for the fucking shit. See, I wouldn't have never did that. See, he took from his own household to try to show off for ass and still ain't get no results because ass ain't fuck with him no more. And she got on there and made that perfectly clear about that shit and called him up and his wife up. So if you want to know to put the real truth out there, because that's out there, from the text message to the phone call, I got all that shit. But I'm just not messy in the state of my life that I'm in. No way in the fucking world, after a tragedy that we went through, would I sneak behind his back. Now imagine this, Dane, I'm at this man, I'm looked at as the uncle, and I go buy Jazz a bedroom set. Now I don't say nothing to him or Janine. And then it come out. Jazz tell her friend, and her friend tells somebody else. Now it come out. Angelo bought her a bedroom set. They gonna look at me like, what the fuck?
I think you trying to fuck.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Say it again loud, Dana. Say that loud.
I think you trying to fuck.
I'll
put it out there.
Absolutely. And any woman on this panel should agree 100%. Put a 100 in it. Because there ain't no man that's supposed to be a friend of you.
Damn. Angela, the Snitch 9 was over there coercing his daughter. Wow. Interesting.
As a man, sneak and buy your child something and don't say nothing to the man?
Wow.
What the fuck is you talking about? And you bragging, running around doing that? Nigga, she didn't need that. Her apartment was more than your rent. So what the fuck would you buy somebody that's paying $3,000 in an apartment and Dana, you know where she lives, so there ain't no cat. Because they was coming down there to go chill at a house and she faked their ass out.
Not faking.
So
who was that?
Don Russell. They call him Con Russell.
Who?
Don Russell, but they call him Con Russell.
Yeah, I met him. I mean, I've been face to face in Chicago. Tell him that several times. Absolutely. Face to face. And Don was another one who put out a false thing. Remember, he's put out that I broke in his car in his house or something in California.
Yeah.
That fucking lying and shit.
So hold
and
on.
The police calling me about that shit.
So hold on. Skylife, you got a point though.
No. Hold on. What you mean? Had the police coming? Hold on. How the police gonna hear him out here implicating him in stealing some property that he supposedly stole? I can't make this shit up. So never mind.
If Az was looked at as a young girl and he brought the couch, and you know Az with Kel's girl, so that means you tried to bump Kel's girl, but I thought you said she was a minor.
Hey, no disrespect.
So that means you like minors.
Listen, I'm a man, bro. I'm gonna tell it how it is. So when you sit there and you try to flex, call yourself flexing, I wouldn't have never did that. You understand what I'm saying? I don't do that, bro. I would never took Janine and bought her something without Larry being there, or is it like, yo, go ahead and take them out, this and that. When we went to breakfast and I took them to breakfast, I wouldn't have went without him. That's his wife and his children. I'm not going to do that. But I would go if he say, yo, go ahead, yo, this and that. No, we all went. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to cap. I did that shit because I have real love for them.
So you didn't know about the furniture?
No, hell no. The internet told me about the motherfucking furniture.
What type?
Because he was bragging to somebody. He bought her a fucking couch. I went, I called my daughter straight up. And she was on that motherfucker piss.
What type of shit is that? Nah, that's some weirdo ass shit. How you supposed to be helping this man out? You go behind his back and you purchase his daughter this couch, and you don't tell him. You come tell the internet first so you can brag about it. And people don't put two and two together. That's what he was doing, sitting around Angelo and all these people sitting around getting their stories so he can get on the internet and talk about this and talk about that. And common sense should tell the super fans and all these people spectating that the shit that he said didn't arouse me or shift me in one way or another, because I knew where the information was coming from. Period. Duh. The fuck?
That he even said something about. And that's when I went to a fucking house. That's when you supposed to met me. I went to a restaurant that died in a car accident. His restaurant. That's where I was there. I was like, what the fuck? And I went off. And that's when he was like, oh, she live right there in Midtown. I said, hey, new motherfucking Jones, $3,000. So why the fuck if she in something at $3,000 a month? Why the fuck would you have to feel like you had to buy her a fucking couch? What, no fucking living room? That was a one big ass, goofy ass couch that was too big for a fucking living room. Then guess what she wound up doing?
Throwing it away.
Moving and selling that shit. Sold the shit to the people next door. They ain't even keep that shit.
Damn.
So this what I'm saying,
but
bro.
That's like, still improper though.
That's fucked up.
That's my
matter of fact,
that's
if you my
pissed.
If
Listen
you my
me,
man,
Dana.
if you my man,
on the internet, they gonna change it. They gonna make it whatever. They can make it however they want. One thing about it, you done heard my daughter beside me. You hear me and her interact. I don't have my daughter. My kids want something. Dana, you hear me with a motherfucking headache all day long. God damn, y'all don't give me a break. Ain't no little shit they ask.
You know, I wish Shabazz would release that unreleased precedence footage. That's what I wish. That's what I want to be entertained by. Some of that unreleased footage from the precedents.
Big shit. And guess what? I make sure that I work my ass off with every ounce of my body to get whatever the fuck my children, my grandchildren need, if it's going to prepare them in life to never have to go through some bad shit. And that's my main focus. And I know life is, you can't duck it, but I try to prevent as much as I can before I have to see or my kids going down the wrong road, drug addicts and all that. And that's nothing against it, because I'm dealing with that. That's a part of my other business. I'm dealing with that. So this shit with this dude thinking that's a flex, he bought my daughter this, tell her you can put your name on there and tell her how she was pissed at you because you used fucking 2 credit cards to buy that shit. She didn't even know you bought the motherfucking couch.
Well, shit, the whole time that me, you, and Levi was on the phone, and Larry, he was trying to explain to Janine something, but I don't know what that was about. But
listen, bro, I ain't getting into it because I ain't even reminiscing. These niggas ain't need my energy. But what I'm telling you is, I ain't never in my life bought a nigga that I love, respected, or called a friend. Dana, if I'm in Baltimore right now, your baby mother and your daughter came to one of my events, I'm going to hit you on the phone and say, Dana, your people's here. I ain't know they was here. Yo, it's all right for me to buy them something. You're not going to hear them say, yo, I bought this unless I buy it and then say, tell your father Angelo bought this, and he gonna tell you, bring me the phone. So you might want to wait till you tell him. And that's how I'm gonna do it. It's no secret. Y'all don't play with people, kids. So to me, nigga, why? My point went straight to, why the fuck would you buy my young daughter a fucking thing after what she been through? And you looking at her, maybe you thinking you got a chance. Maybe you thought you were gonna slide to Atlanta and oh, she kept that quiet. Oh, I kept that quiet. I bought that and try. That's how I took it. So now I look at you fucked up.
And that's
and we never had a conversation about it. And you thought it was a flex.
And that's
that wasn't a flex. That ain't no flex, bro. Yeah. That's some shit. And you can see what he do. Anything he try to throw out is what he did, but he will never say what a nigga did for him. See, he'll lie and talk about where his my money hard earned. Whether it was some old money, some mixed money, or some new money, it was hard earned.
Y'all gonna make Angelo. Y'all gonna make Angelo go to fuck off. Skylife said, "Oh, tell him Dirty Rat said he abandoned Az at his crib, just left her there."
How bad? This the crazy part. Now make to ever think I don't. And I showed you that even without text messages. I went back to file shit. I got everything. When me and you first got in contact, I like, yo, I'm telling you, you name somebody that say they call me, I got all myself. And I ain't defile him. He started defiling me. But going after Teen Truth and having all that shit and fucked up Teen Truth. Yo, it's so much, shit that went because it was that person like shit that they never told their family, bro.
Okay, this finna be the last part where I ask him about the press conference.
Right, so hold on.
And I never would break that trust with nobody.
Prima Donna said, "Hold on, I got a question. Why did you stand Tim up when he had a press conference courtesy of Jim Dariagas?" Oh shit!
Where? I'm confused. Where? In Atlanta? Was it in Atlanta? That shit with the FBI with the buses or something?
I don't know. Where at, Prima? Which one was it?
When he sent the FBI to get all the trucks and all that, and then he was doing the Me Too unit, he hooked up with the Me Too woman, that shit.
I think that's the one.
That was a.
Now, what did he say? When Tim got the FBI. When Tim got the FBI. So how is it? Because we want to beef with Angelo, we're going to redirect this narrative and act like it's all Angelo's fault, that all these lies that these people help keep going after surviving R. Kelly, after he get on this platform and say, we got people to lie, we got the bus drivers, we got this, we got this, we got this. We supposed to ignore that he said all of that and just run with the new shit.
In Atlanta,
yeah,
I ain't had nothing to do with that. I wasn't into trying to go at this thing like that. I was trying to get my daughter. Tim was rolling. Tim had all this shit already going when they pulled me in. When Tim and them called me,
Tim had all this shit rolling. When Tim pulled him in, listen.
Everybody I met on the internet, I met through Tim and them.
Mm-hmm.
Besides, once I became on the internet.
So he was collecting all his people to introduce to Angelo because Angelo had the golden egg.
Every victim family I met through Tim and them.
Okay, so
victim he met through Tim. Is that not collusion that was going on? So when the media talking about all these people are lying, yes, all of them can equally get together, compare their stories, trauma bond, and come out here with this bullshit. Yes.
All determinant. I never knew nothing. I was the last person on that Lifetime shit.
Yeah.
To push.
Yeah, that was the one in Atlanta, the one with Ashley McGee. Yeah.
I don't know. No, I didn't have nothing to do with that. They didn't even know. They didn't. That woman didn't even know nothing about me. He kept trying to do with my daughter at that time. He kept saying they in the buses, but find out they wasn't in the buses.
So listen, Tim Savage was trying to lure him down there, knowing that what he had going on didn't have nothing to do with his daughter. However, like I speculated, they needed his daughter to sell the whole picture. Because lo and behold, when they got their ass out there by themselves with Ashley McGee, what did people do? Started to question the shit. Started to talk about how he was coaching her. Started to point out red flags. They had to figure out something to get people's attention off that, huh?
Yo, that motherfucking woman, I think she got fucking demoted behind that shit. They made a big stink, but down that motherfucker closed off the highway or some shit. And
they was about to lock Tim up behind it. They were about to lock Tim up behind that, wasn't he?
I don't know. I don't think he was gonna get locked up, but it fucked up a lot. It made that woman career fucked up. That's what it did. And I mean, he might have been salty with me because I didn't come out, but that wasn't my thing. You gotta understand.
He was definitely salty with him, because pay attention to the next question that I asked, because after that, that's when Tim Savage got to tagging Angelo with the FBI and Homeland Security, talking about what they need to do. They need to contact the FBI and all this shit. Receipts don't lie, boo. Tell you that.
I wasn't an internet dude. I wasn't a dude, internet, none of that shit. I wasn't on none of that. So to have that right there in front of me like that, it was like, nah, man, I can't do that.
So then Prima said another one. How did you feel when Tim stated that he was tagging you and Homeland Security?
Yeah, Tim brung them straight to me. Like, yeah, Tim.
Say what now? Say what now? He said Tim brought the FBI straight to him. So who fault is it that all this shit got escalated and all these people had to join in? Huh? And all these people took it upon themselves to start emailing prosecutors, giving them the impression R. Kelly has something to do with a whole lot of goofy shit on these platforms.
Tim, listen, let me explain something to you with Tim. And I don't knock him. I understand him clearly. He was a father in need. How Tim was fighting by himself. And I'm just giving y'all this honestly, not just because of my daughter, because also happened to bury a son, a child. That shit opened me way back up to understand how Tim and them really felt. Because see, when Az was gone, I was constantly chasing her. I knew she was here. It's years.
Well, the difference is you wasn't all on these platforms talking about she a sex slave, she a hostage, she got herpes, all that goofy shit. You weren't doing that. That's the major difference. So I don't have no sympathy for nothing that Tim could have believed in the beginning, because it don't take a genius to see that all that shit they had to keep going for the cameras didn't make no goddamn sense.
And Tim and them don't have their daughter. So I can't even imagine they true mental.
Well,
because it's fucked up. Man, people can say what they want. A father can say what they want. Okay. That's this anger. Him acting like he denouncing it. That's this anger. Tim and them a loving family with girls. It's no way he like that's this him being mad. But yo, it's no way that we took this shit.
So you notice he mentioned that because Daytime T also released the clip when Cash also released to us, where Don was talking to Tim and he was acting like he was mediating some shit. And he talking about he done with his daughter. He's saying that he was just mad. Okay, cool. Again, when we play back those clips, it's not to try to look too far deep into what's going on, except to understand that number one, again, Don took it upon himself to step in the fire and start dealing with this shit. The way he chose to maneuver bit him in the butt. So for people to come out here for years trying to defend him, ignore the red flags he dropped all around, and then try to skip. They ain't want to do no review of his interview with Tia when he talking about shit hitting the fan. You ain't see all the people doing the reviews on that as much as they want to review Dana shit and pick out certain shit that don't nobody give a fuck about. Okay? That's the point in this live right here. Because people over here getting sidetracked to what's going on and why I believe it's necessary for certain people to pop back out and let their voices be heard. Do you got to believe all the shit that they say? Absolutely not. But should it open your eyes to see all the stuff that's been going on all these years and why that man didn't have the proper defense to handle this shit, especially when some of his people were in bed with certain individuals out here deliberately sabotaging him. Just like how I feel about this current attorney. If he don't put that motion in, to me, that seals the deal. That's clear sabotage. And he should be penalized in some way, form, or fashion. Period.
Shit, personal. We talked about each other. We dogged each other. But yo, at the end of the day, that's something that no parent should ever have to go through. Rather your kid grown, rather your kid grown, or rather your kid in fucking Mars. If you can't get a physical hug, touch, call, regular, bro, your mental is fucked up.
So look, Gemini Don said, Tim, the master manipulator, Tim orchestrated all. Yeah, I can say that. And then Prima Donna said, so again, see why I felt Tim was trying to use Angelo, then because he knew he had no case and it was to focus on a minor. Facts.
Absolutely. That's the whole thing. It wouldn't have been no case if they wouldn't have invaded my space with Homeland Security and knowing Adriel's situation and talking to that police at the Dolphin. That would seal it right there when they went to the Dolphin and did that investigation.
Ha, boom, bitches. Hello, Crystal, how you doing? But yeah, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to end on. That's all I wanted to end on, to connect that piece that, like I said, from day one, they were using Azriel's story. They used Angelo. Now these people want to come out here and try to flip the script and make him the fall guy. If that's the case, like I said a long time ago, it's a whole lot of people that need to be prosecuted. A whole lot of people that need to be reinvestigated when it comes to all the things that took effect with these witnesses, with the so-called evidence, with these prosecutors doing all this shit behind the scenes, with these agents investigating this shit one-sided. All this shit need to be re-looked at. Period. With that being said, I've been on here almost 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and end on that note. I'll finish up with my uploads to clip up certain points from this live that I wanted to put together so that you can see exactly how the receipts fall in line with what's being said. And it's up to you to believe what you want to believe, but receipts don't lie, and that's a fact. With that being said, y'all have a good morning. I appreciate everybody for stopping in. Replay gang, I appreciate you too. If you have any special requests on any content, drop it in the comments. If you're a subscriber, of course, I'll make sure I put some content in rotation just for you. See y'all on the next one.